What happens in the space between heartbeats when your heart stops beating? I was dead for 20 minutes. Not unconscious. Not in a coma. Clinically dead. No pulse. No breathing. No brain activity. And what I experienced changed everything I thought I knew about life, death, and what lies beyond. It started with a headache while I was grocery shopping. Just a dull pressure behind my eyes. I remember reaching for a box of cereal, thinking I should drink more water. That's the last normal thought I ever had. The next thing I knew, I was on the floor, staring up at impossibly bright fluorescent lights. People were screaming. Someone was calling 911, and I felt nothing. No pain. No fear. Just a strange coldness moving inward from my fingers and toes. The paramedics told me later that my heart stopped in the ambulance. They got a pulse back after 3 minutes, but I crashed again in the emergency room. That's when the 20 minutes began. Here's what nobody tells you about dying. It's not dramatic. What happened first was silence. Complete, absolute silence. I didn't realize how much noise exists in being alive until it all stopped. No heartbeat, no breath sounds. No blood rushing through my ears. Just silence. And then I realized I was looking down at myself. I was above my body, watching doctors and nurses frantically working. I could see the crash cart. I could see the monitor showing a flat line. I could see my chest rising and falling as they pumped air into my lungs, and I felt completely calm. More calm than I'd ever felt in my entire life. Then something shifted. The emergency room began to fade, like someone was slowly turning down the brightness on a television screen. And I started moving through space that didn't feel like space. I found myself in a place that defied description. It wasn't dark, but there was no light source. It wasn't empty, but there was nothing there. Time didn't exist the way it does here. And I wasn't alone. I felt something with me. There was communication happening, not words, something deeper. Pure understanding transmitted directly into my consciousness. And the first thing I understood was that I had a choice. I could stay, or I could go back. What happened next is what people call a life review. I didn't just remember my life. I experienced every moment again, but not from my perspective. I felt what other people felt because of my actions. Every kindness I'd ever shown, I felt the joy it created. Every cruel word I'd spoken, I felt the pain it caused. I felt my mother's love when I was born. I felt my teacher's frustration when I didn't try in school. I felt my friend's gratitude when I helped him move. I felt my ex-partner's heartbreak when I left without explanation. It all happened simultaneously. 37 years of life experienced from every angle at once. And the most profound realization hit me. We all connected in ways we can't possibly comprehend while we alive. Every action creates ripples that touch countless lives. Then came the question, do you want to go back? And I hesitated. Because in that place I felt complete peace. No anxiety about the future. No regrets about the past. No pain, no fear. Why would anyone choose to leave that? But then I thought about my daughter. She was only 8 years old. I thought about the hug I'd given her that morning before school. Not knowing it might be the last one, and I made the choice. I chose pain over peace. I chose life. Coming back was harder than leaving. Imagine trying to squeeze into a shoe that's 3 sizes too small. Suddenly there was weight again. There was pain. There was noise. The monitor started beeping. Someone shouted that they had a pulse. My lungs burned as I gasped for air. My chest ached from the compressions. Everything hurt. And I'd never been so grateful for pain in my entire life. The first face I saw clearly was a nurse with tears in her eyes. "Welcome back," she whispered. "We thought we lost you." The doctors called it a miracle. They ran every test imaginable but found nothing. No heart disease. No neurological issues. No explanation. Just a 37-year-old man who died and came back perfectly fine. But I wasn't fine. Not really. Because you can't experience what I experienced and return to normal life. Everything looked the same, but I saw it all differently. Colors seemed more vibrant. Music sounded more beautiful. Conversations with my daughter felt more precious. Here's what dying taught me: we're doing it wrong. We stress about things that don't matter and ignore things that matter desperately. We spend our lives accumulating possessions we can't take with us and neglecting relationships that echo into eternity. In those 20 minutes, I learned that consciousness doesn't end. It transforms. And the love we create, the kindness we show, the connections we make, those are the only things that come with us. Everything else stays behind. The car, the house, the bank account, the job title, All of it stays here, meaningless and forgotten. But the moment you made someone laugh, the time you helped a stranger, the patience you showed when you wanted to react in anger, those moments are eternal. It's been 3 years since I died, and I won't lie to you, it's hard. It's hard to care about traffic jams when you've experienced timelessness. It's hard to stress about work deadlines when you felt complete peace. But it's also beautiful. Every sunrise feels like a gift. Every conversation with my daughter feels sacred. Every breath feels like exactly what it is, a miracle. So what happens when you die? I can only tell you what happened to me. Silence, peace, understanding, connection. And then, if you're impossibly lucky, you get to come back. We're all going to cross that threshold eventually, but until that moment comes, we're here. We're alive. We have the opportunity to create love, show kindness, and live in a way that matters. Don't wait for a near-death experience to start really living. Don't wait until you're looking back at your life review to realize what mattered. Start now, today, this moment. Tell someone you love them. Forgive someone who hurt you. Help someone who needs it. Because one day, your heart will stop beating. And the only question that will matter is, how did you use the time when it was beating? If this story affected you, leave a comment below and tell me what you'd change if you knew your time was limited. Subscribe to this channel for more stories that make you think about life, death, and everything in between. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here, right now, alive and present. Don't waste it.